we got a really crazy and odd patent filing that came out from Facebook, and it's showing what they call an artificial reality hat. And yes, it's exactly what you think. It's an actual hat that has a visor in front of it. And it looks completely ridiculous from the start. But before you think, like, what in the world is this? The patent actually has some very cool details that I'm gonna discuss right now. So what we can see in these pictures is what looks like to be a normal standard hat that has a sort of screen built into in the front. Now this screen can be used for virtual reality or augmented reality. But besides just this one picture, the most interesting ones were the other pictures in the patent. Because in this other picture, we can for example see a person wearing this hat, but what is the most interesting isn't the hat itself, it's what she's wearing on her hands. As you can see, she's using virtual reality gloves. And these look very similar to the CTRL Labs wristbands that Facebook acquired in 2019. And on top of that, it's a combination of this wristband together with a virtual reality glove, of which we also know that Mark Zuckerberg is working on them. But it doesn't stop there. Probably the most interesting part of this patent filing was the next picture. And there's a couple things that we can see in this one. The first thing is that the visor seems to be detachable, which means you could basically be wearing the hat like a complete normal hat and then just click on the visor when you wanted to use it for augmented reality or virtual reality. But where the real interesting part comes in is what we see inside of the hat. And that is, you guessed it, a brain-computer interface. Now, if you have watched videos on my channel before, which you should have definitely done and also subscribed to my channel, then you know that I get really excited when there's some new information about brain-computer interfaces. So what we can see in this picture is that the inlining of the head is using sensors. And these sensors could work like an EEG, trying to read the brainwaves of the user, translating these into movements to send those directly back to the visor. These are the things that always get me super excited, because these are the things that we see in stuff like Sword Art Online. But on the first sight, of course, this patent filing looks completely ridiculous. But when we look closer to it, we can see that this is not just a patent filing for some ridiculous headset that is literally a hat itself. But we can see that they implemented multiple technologies like the VR gloves and the brain-computer interfaces into them. And of course, a patent filing doesn't mean that you will actually be able to buy a virtual reality or augmented reality hat just like this anytime soon, but it does always show that people are at least working on it. And we know that they are working on these virtual reality gloves to eventually be able to replace the current controllers. And if that happens, we will get closer to something like we see in Ready Player One. But what interests me the most is the other picture that also shows the brain-computer interface, which will then eventually lead into something that is more closely related to Sword Art Online. And I truly believe that the future of virtual reality is either one of these choices. It can be or completely haptic, like we see in Ready Player One, walking on a VR treadmill, having VR gloves and a VR suit on for haptic feedback, or we can see the complete other spectrum, like in Sword Art Online, where the headset sends and reads signals directly from our brain. But sadly, we can't look into the future, so we will just have to wait.